A good late morning to you, St. Francis and people of God. It is Wednesday, the 18th day of January 2023, Wednesday of the second week of the year, the second week in Ordinary Time. It is a late morning reflection that I'm doing, which will probably be early afternoon by the time this gets posted, because we had Mass this morning, the Franciscan Schoolheads Community Mass this morning, and then I talked to the third grade about the San Damiano Cross. And so just getting to the reflection now, which should have been earlier. So coming to you from the breezeway between Clare Hall and the church behind me, but then also overlooking the Francis Garden, which Bishop Luis blessed on Sunday. So the first stage of its development as it comes in quite nicely. So we did the Columbarium extension. I showed you that, I think, on Tuesday, Monday, can't remember. But Columbarium extension and then the Francis Garden. So all kinds of developments, all kinds of growth here at St. Francis. Our readings for today on this Wednesday of the second week of the year concern, again, the letter to the Hebrews. Melchizedek is mentioned, the kind of the first king to offer, the first king high priest, whatever he was. It's always kind of questionable exactly what kind of position Melchizedek had. But he is the first to offer bread and wine as an offering to God. Does it foreshadow the Eucharist? Probably not for the Jewish people where Melchizedek is recorded there, but it becomes sort of a foreshadowing for the Christians of these two basic elements of any kind of table, of any kind of meal, of any kind of life, bread and wine. Italians understand this, Greeks understand this, sometimes Germans understand this, British have yet to understand it. I think the Irish have yet to understand it, but at least for some of the Mediterranean cultures, that kind of staple of bread and wine is something that makes a meal what it is. And so to share a meal with God, Melchizedek does that. And that, again, will become what Jesus does, to share himself with us. The thing is, though, that the idea of being a priest is something that the law said that you needed. But that Hebrews goes on to say that Jesus is more than just a priest according to the law. He is a priest according to love and to life. A priest to give not just direction and guidance and to uphold rules and regulations, but Jesus is the one who allows life and love to prosper, the fullness of who and what we are to prosper. All priests should kind of be that way and not just basically moral lawgivers or moral watchdogs. Sometimes that is what happens within our church, but that is not supposed to be what priest is according to Hebrews. To model oneself after Jesus Christ means that you are dedicated to embracing life and embracing love in people's lives. The gospel for today is where Jesus kind of gets angry about having people not answer questions that he poses. And the basic question is that he wants to heal somebody who has a crippled hand, a broken hand. And the thing about it is that it's on the Sabbath, and Jesus doesn't want anybody, and Jesus doesn't want anybody to still be in pain or still be without healing on the Sabbath. And so he sets out to heal this man's withered hand, his crippled hand, his broken hand. And the scribes and Pharisees object to it because Jesus is trying to heal on the Sabbath, in which, again, you are not supposed to do anything but just sit around and look at each other. And Jesus basically says, to the people, why are you stubborn? Why are you obstinate? Is it better to do evil or do good on the Sabbath, to give life or to destroy it? And they have no answer to this question because of their stubbornness and their obstinacy and their refusal to want to see what's happening in their midst that is very different than their paltry rules and regulations that are not giving life, that are not doing anything to foster hope, foster any kind of happiness or joy in people's lives, which is what God wants. And so Jesus basically heals the hand anyway. It's like, forget all you people, forget what your stupid laws and your regulations. I'm going to do what needs to be done, and Jesus does it. I think that's important for us to remember, that we should not let rules and regulations, again, it's one kind of thing about breaking the law and stuff like that, but still, that's what Jesus does. He breaks the law to do good, that nothing should stand in the way of the ability to do good, the ability to heal, the ability to bring life, the ability to bring back wholeness and fullness in people's lives. Nothing should stand in the way of that, and that's basically what Jesus does. You see, he makes sure that nothing stands in the way of God's goodness, creating more and more goodness, creating more and more happiness, creating more and more life where there needs to be happiness, life, and love. And may the Lord give you his peace.